going on YouTubers, gamers and hobbyists? Welcome to this tutorial, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make your own Astrogranite for next to nothing. Okay, so let's get camera down and I'll show you what you need. Right, now as you know I'm quite a lazy baser, so I favour these basing paints from Citadel over everything. However, what I've got in this isn't actually the actual original. This is the original here. I've used the original on this model here, along with the highlighting I did, like the dry brushing and so on. But this is the original. You can't really see it that well, but there it is. This is my own homemade basing paint. It's the same. I think you'll agree it's the same colour and same consistency. So if I get a little bit of the original out, you can see that there. Wipe that off. And if I get a bit of the homemade one out, you can see that. Alright, so there it is. So, how do we make this? Well, I had to make it because I can't afford to keep buying the stuff, to be honest, guys. So, here's what you need. This is what I did anyway. This might not be the best way of doing it, but it is a way of doing it. It's certainly a way of doing it, and the way I've chosen. Got myself a milk bottle top to mix stuff up in because, I don't know, I thought it was a cool idea to do that. And it's about the right amount that I need. A bit of PVA glue, which I've got in a handy dandy container. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a load of this stuff into here. Now of course this is, you know, done a lot primarily by eye, so this is going to be the bulk of what you'll need. Now it's essentially paint and sand, but you will need the PVA to bind it together, because of course if you just use PVA and sand, the PVA will dry clear. Of course you can paint it, but like I say, I'm a lazy baser and I just can't be bothered. I need a bit more PVA, because like I say, this is going to be my mixing pot. Right, I think that's about enough there. Now I'm just going to pop my brush down, pop the PVA away for a moment. Next thing you'll need is some black paint. I'm just using this Createx because it's what I've got the most of, so it doesn't really matter. Put 3 drops of that in. I think I put 2 in before, but hey ho. Using the same brush, start mixing that in. That will eventually turn it grey. But you're going to want to put the white paint in as well. So this is a dark grey here now, look. So I'm going to want to put a couple of drops of white in. Whatever white you've got, it really doesn't matter. And I'm thinking I need to get myself some cheap acrylic white for this. Right, mix that up. Now this is the part where you can get your colour right first. It doesn't matter too much if you go slightly lighter than it is, and I'll tell you why. Because following the traditional paint guides that Citadel lay out, they recommend you using like canola oil on top of it afterwards, which will blacken the paint. Now that is a little bit dark, so I'm just going to add another drop of white to that. Oops, slightly, probably too much now. So keep mixing that in. And at this stage it's going to feel a bit thick and gloopy. Don't forget, it is thick and gloopy. I'm just going to put 2 drops of airbrush thinner in. I don't actually know if that's necessary, but that is following the recipe that I did last time around. So I'll just mix that in there, like so. And that looks like pretty much the same colour. Right, time to start adding sand to the mix. So get modelling sand, builder's sand, it really doesn't matter. So I'm just going to add a bit of sand in here. You actually use more sand than you think you will. So get that mixing up. You probably could do a bigger mixing bowl or something to do this. See, it's totally absorbed the sand and you can barely notice it. So you're going to want a lot more. But that's okay. So I'll just get a bit more here. And we'll whack that in. I only know you used quite a bit from the last time. Right, now see it's starting to pull together. Kind of like dough does when you're making dough. If you're do any baking, I used to be a baker actually, so so it is gritty, and you can see that it's gritty, but you could still do with a little bit more, just a touch, bit more sand in there. Like this. So I'm doing this in real time, it's not like I'm speeding anything up. So you can literally see how it's going. Still a bit on the gloopy side. Bit more sand. You judge for yourself. It's better to add little bits rather than too much, otherwise you'll find you run out of mixing area rather quickly. Here we go, it's getting a bit more like it. This is the consistency almost that I'm after. Just a bit more. I think this might do it. Right, now this is looking like Astrogranite a little bit to me. See that? So, actually I might just put just a tad more in. I think then it'll be perfect. Right. See, what my plan is to add this to the stuff I've already made. Right, there we go. It's getting more like Astrogranite now. Yeah. See what I've made there. And get the Astrogranite out that I have bought. So you can see here, look. This is the Astrogranite I've bought. Let's pop that on the palette there. You see that? Feel the sand in it. It's slightly lighter than what I've got there, ever so slightly. Let's put up a small drop of white in. There you go. See there's fine tuning going on here. Look. Right. Now, this is my version of it. Could do with being slightly lighter perhaps, but that'll do for me. I'm going to pop this into my already pre-made Astrogranite stuff, and there's a couple of bases I did here with it on. It's still drying, of course, but you can see it might need a bit more texture, but overall that's not bad. That's not bad coverage, I find. So put a bit of Nuln Oil on that, and then you dry brush your grey or white or whatever you want to do, and you're good to go. So that's your Astrogranite, and that's how you make it. Thanks for watching, guys. Remember, all brushes lead to war, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now, folks.